Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 4 of Just in Time for Music. Our guest today is someone quite cool because she's the editor for this podcast, she's a part of the media team for the orchestra, and she's also Megan Oswald.
It's weird being on
Good to have you out here.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
So, let's have some background. So, what instrument do you play, what year of school, what's your major?
So I'm a freshman music ed major. I'm also, right now, I'm a music therapy major, so I'm a double major. Nothing against the music therapy program, but I have a feeling I'm going to drop that just because I'm super excited about being a music educator. And although music therapy is incredibly fascinating and an amazing profession, it's just not for me. I don't know if I already said this, but I'm a French horn.
That's
Even
what a
though
French horn looks like.
French horn's not actually French, but I'm a horn major. Just good enough.
It works.
Yeah.
Outside of music, it is true, we do have lives.
Sure, yeah.
What do you do outside of music?
Outside of music, yeah, that's a good question. So I work on weekends. It's not too interesting, but I guess one of the things I like to do is I hang out with friends in my dorm. I'm in a traditional style dorm, which means you have to walk to get to the bathroom and it's not in your room. So normally there's a bunch of people just hanging out in the hall, and so no matter where I am, there's someone out there that I can talk to. So that's always fun. And then sometimes people will come into my room and play on my roommate's PlayStation,
Nice.
PS5, whatever it is.
Do you guys have a PS5 in your room?
Yeah.
Mine's at my house.
Oh yeah, no, she brought it. That, the TV, and it's,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, pretty cool.
See, for my dorms, I have a suite style, so there's bathrooms in our rooms. So I guess I kind of miss out on the having people out in the hallways, because anytime I leave my dorm, there's hardly anyone out and about. It's always
Yeah.
I'll just see one person in passing. So maybe that's worth considering, trying the traditional way.
I mean, it's kind of fun. You get to meet people. It's always fun.
How did you get involved with music, and what made you choose that thing that's called French horn?
So I started singing, I guess. I've just been involved in music for a while. When I was younger, I loved percussion. So I used to make little bands with my sister. I would make song lyrics. The songs I've made have been in first grade. So they're nothing amazing, but I've just always loved music. And then so I think 5th grade, I was I want to be a percussionist. And then so I got me with my little snare drum in 5th grade band, offbeat most likely, and then percussion, you can do a wide variety of instruments. So I also did the thunder sheet, if you've ever heard that, it's so cool. And then I think the summer of 8th grade, my one friend was like, Megan, just play mellophone. I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't care. So I think freshman year, maybe sophomore year, I started playing the French horn and the mellophone. Those are normally marching band would be mellophone, and then the concert version is French horn. So I haven't been playing French horn all too long. It's been since freshman, sophomore year-ish. I think it's been freshman year.
Okay. Give the viewers at home a bit of context as to what a mellophone is, because I come from a strings side of things, and I personally don't know what that is either.
Yeah, so a mellophone, there's a couple ways to describe it. You can say what it technically is, or you can say it's a marching French horn, which is that's what it technically is, or it's an overgrown trumpet. It looks like a trumpet, just bigger and taller a bit and better. Just saying. But yeah, so it's the same key as a French horn. It's a horn in F, but it's easier to march with because you're not carrying it like this, you're carrying it like this.
So, horn in F, is that why it starts with an F?
Maybe? I mean, technically it's also in B flat because there's a little thumb trigger, and it switches to French horn, and so I'm talking to future me right now. We're gonna put a little beautiful drawing of a French horn on screen right now. Here it is. I meant I was gonna edit it in, but that works too.
You know what? We can edit it.
Yeah, we can do both. So thank you, Pierce, for that beautiful drawing. That's amazing. But yeah, the French horn, it's kind of like, I think it can span 5 octaves.
Jeez.
It's a beautiful instrument. A lot of people describe it sounding like silk, and then if you're not good at it, people describe it sounding like mashed potatoes. So there's 2 sides of the spectrum, and then so like there's the F horn, and then there's the B flat horn, so you can like switch between them almost, and then some things sound better. Like if I was playing like a concert B flat, I would probably play that F horn and not B flat horn, but you can play both.
So there's not really like 2 separate French horns, like there's like multiple separate like clarinets and things, right?
There is actually. I in brass ensemble, Lucas Bruno and I play the tenor horn or alto horn, depending on if you're European or not. So it's the same thing as a mellophone, but it's shaped differently, and it's an E flat instead of F. So it's pretty cool.
With all the horns being like shaped somewhat differently from that, is that the only horn that looks like that?
No, actually, there's a single horn, which is that, but I think it's only in, I can't remember if it's only in F or if it's only in B flat, but there's no trigger on it. And then it looks like that, and it's just like a little loop, and it's one thing, and you use completely your mouth to control the notes. So that's very hard to do.
Awesome.
And there's probably a bunch of others too, but those are the basics.
So to backpedal a little bit to the octave thing,
Yeah.
Piers, help me out here. How many octaves can we cover on our violins?
We usually do 3 octave scales.
Okay,
I think.
that's
Yeah.
definitely cool to know that like that covers a lot more.
I mean, if you just start it, you're not gonna get 5 octaves. I don't have 5 octaves on it, but that's the range that's possible, especially for like 4 octaves.
4 octaves for us, I think.
Okay,
4 octaves
so
for violins.
3 or 4 for violins. There you go.
Yeah.
So how many octaves would you say you've covered on your French horn?
Well, or like covered, because I mean,
How about played in any sort of part of that octave?
I can hit like 2 or 3 pedal notes, and then I can hit up to a C on the French horn, not a concert C. That'd be like a concert F. So some of them, I
So
don't know.
What sort of octave range is that? Is the pedal notes like the lowest octave?
Yeah, pedal notes would be like the lowest ones. They're super hard to hit. They're like, you know, they almost sound like they're just super low. And then the highest ones are also super high. So
Okay.
yeah.
So like, would you say that concert C is like that 5th octave range, or is that like 4th octave?
That's probably 4th octave. I mean, I know people can play a lot higher than me, so yeah, I'm not too sure how I fit into that low 5 octave scale, and maybe there's people that can play like up to 6. I've heard 5 octaves.
Comment down below if you can play in any of those 5 octaves, or even that 6th octave that she mentioned. I'm curious to know.
Crazy.
Did you ever play with any like outside of school related groups or anything like in your past years of your career? Like I know there's a lot of like youth symphony orchestras and other organizations like that out there.
So no, I've done like voice lessons for 5 years, and I've sang at little recitals for that. My mom's wedding, like random family events for that. But on the French horn, no. Voice is also easier because you don't need to carry around a case with you, and it's easy to duet with someone else who can sing. So I've done that a little bit, and then French horn, no. I was going to. We had like an opportunity to do an orchestra, but my school was really big on clubs, so I was in like everything I could be in, which I think senior year it was like 17 or 18 after school activities.
Jeez.
Yeah, and so there was just no time.
Yeah. Like I was kind of like in your way in high school. Like I was involved with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like out doing whatever like during the school day and even after school,
Mhm.
because my parents started with the joke that I only go to school for the fun stuff, which was mostly true. Because half my classes I just couldn't stand, but like when I got to anything music related, it was so much better.
See, I loved like learning and stuff. I wasn't always going into music, but so like the learning part was fun, and then drama club was mostly what I would do after school till like 6 or 7 at night. Sometimes we'd get out at 4. It depends on what scene we're working on, but yeah, normally I had something other than like an orchestra to do.
So you mentioned drama club. Are there any like productions that you were in back in your high school days?
Yeah, I think I was in like 11 or 12 total. We our drama club started at 7th grade, and well, when I joined, you could join in 7th grade and then up till senior year. I think now it's 6th grade maybe. I don't really know. So I've been in like Tale of Two Cities, Les Mis, just like a bunch of pretty cool. My director was awesome. So.
There's a play of A Tale of Two Cities.
Oh yeah, it's like it's hours long.
I had no idea that was a thing.
If you've like read the book or you've seen the play, I was a bunch of like random ensemble parts throughout it, and then at the end I was the seamstress. So there's like a video of me somewhere on TikTok.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What would you say has to be your greatest musical like career moment? It can be anything voice related, anything instrument related, like anything.
I know. I mean, getting into college.
That is pretty major.
I mean, I like everything I auditioned at, which I only auditioned at 3 schools. Like I got in, so that's always nice. You know, you're not. Yeah.
So I'm guessing one of the 3 was here, right?
Shockingly, yeah. Yeah.
What were the other 2?
Duquesne and then Elizabethtown. That one's up by Hershey. Duquesne's in Pittsburgh.
Interesting. So over the years, I personally have had a lot of conductors and directors and things, and I'm sure you have too, between your voice, your French horn, and everything
Piano,
like that.
yeah.
You play piano too.
Not well, but yeah.
Honestly, same here. It's like I took a class in high school, so like I know the basics, and I've tried to like have some things like correspond with it from like things I figured out on my violin to like things I've just figured out on piano, and like just try to switch it either way, like depending on the song. But
Yeah.
it's definitely nice having that as like a backup, like for practice sessions too.
I was talking to my old band director, and he was telling me how people think, like transposition wise, in different ways. So like he started on guitar, so when he has to transpose something in his mind, he thinks about it like a fretboard. When I have to do it, I think about it like a piano. So like and I can't even imagine what other people will think that haven't played guitar or piano. Like if I don't even know. That is just pretty cool.
It's like most of the times when I'm thinking about stuff in that way, I think more on the violin.
Yeah.
But with the piano having the range it does, I sometimes pull out my piano like back home and I just like plug it in because it's like electric, and then I just like plunk out some notes. But I'm in no ways good at piano. It's just a tool that's merely just in my toolbox. Like if I don't understand something.
I think I know. I can do my circle of chords. I can do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then like I can do them in all the keys. But I can play songs if it's like basic, but the like piano majors here like crazy good. I've seen people just like rip it out and they're like, I messed up, and I'm like, where?
So you mentioned that there's piano majors, but do you cover any piano like in your major with your music education stuff?
Yeah, so I think we have to do multiple classes of piano. Right now I'm in class piano 1. Not too sure how many they're supposed to do. There's 4 actually, I am sure. Yeah.
Thanks, Pierce.
So there's like 4 class pianos, so it's like a group of people and an instructor going like, okay, do this page now, and like teaching you different concepts, how to do scales, what fingerings, stuff like that.
That's awesome. Why continue and play music up here at SRU? Like, what made you choose and be like, this is the music department for me, and this is where I want to play music the next 4 years?
So, like I said, I got into 2 other schools, and if you know anything about the other schools, they're like, nothing that I went for is the same. Duquesne is very city. Elizabethtown is very, it's not too country, like, but it's not even close to Duquesne. Like, they're a smaller school, they're a good school, like, they're still a great program, but they're smaller, and then so Slippery Rock's kind of in the in-between. Duquesne was like my second, actually for a while Duquesne and Slippery Rock were tied, but I just, when I went to Duquesne, I was like, wow, this is a great program, great connections, all that, and then when I went here, I was like, wow, I could be in this program. Just because like I came here and the people that were at my audition day were so nice, like it felt like I'd known them for 10 years. Like it was like a click. Also, I'm not a big city person, so Slippery Rock was a lot better.
I feel like city just gets out of hand when there's so many people and so much like traffic and everything too. That's why like I really like it up here because even though it's in the middle of nowhere, there's still plenty of people,
Yeah.
and it's easy to find my way around and not be like, oh, I went in the wrong building downtown.
And like where I'm from, like there's 45 minutes to get to a Target, and I know someone who's like it's 2 hours to get to a Target. So this is like everything's like 30 minutes away, and no like hate to anyone that does like the city life. My sister goes to Duquesne and she loves it. Some people are just like, yeah, depends on what you want.
I know you had mentioned that like you and your sister had like bands a while back. Is she like
Yeah.
musically talented in any way?
Oh, she's very talented. She's just she chose business over music. She has an incredibly good voice, and then she also, I think she tried playing saxophone a little bit in band, and she was in band front when we did marching band. But yeah, for her, like for me, like music was my choice. For her, it's business. But she's like really good singer, trained under the same person I did for voice. Like, yeah.
Do you think maybe she's regretting her choice or wishing she
No.
chose music?
She's really good at what she does. She's awesome at it.
Awesome. So this is a bit of a hypothetical. Are you ready?
No. Okay.
Okay, so you're walking down the street
Mhm.
much later after you're done in SRU.
Yeah.
You have like your job and everything, and it's just way in the future.
Mhm.
Stranger rolls up and asks you why you play music because he recognized that you're Megan Oswald, the great French hornist that was here at Slippery Rock.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what makes you keep playing music, and how can you convince the audience to keep playing music themselves?
For me, it's like a backbone. Like I feel like we all have like something that just makes the wheels in our head turn. And so for me, like if I was in calculus class, if I ever had to memorize like the derivatives of something, like especially when you get into like arc, cosine, all that jazz, I related it to music. If I like in a history class, I related it to music. For like any class that I took, college English, everything that had memorization and that had anything that was like more challenging than just knowing it right away, I related it to music.
Mhm.
And for a while I thought, oh, everyone does that. It's like, I'm not a music major, I'm just like, it's just music, that's fun. But for me, it's just like, my life doesn't make sense without it,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Like, it's more of just like a definition of my life to build it off.
Yeah, like even after everything that you told me, like I actually understand like where you're coming from with the whole like backbone thing. It's
Mhm.
like after all the time you put in like with voice stuff and
Mhm.
with the mellophone and then the French horn now too, like I feel like if I'd met you outside of music stuff and you were never really a music person, I feel like I would know a completely different version of you. And honestly, it's the same way for me in a way. It's like my whole family, like I've mentioned this in past episodes, but my whole family was all like heavily like involved with music. Like
Yeah.
my grandpa still plays to this day and like does gigs like all around where he lives.
Mhm.
My dad plays bass and guitar. My brother is actually taking a page out of your book and he's doing like chorus stuff in his high school. And he also like dabbles a little in guitar.
Mhm.
And like I started with violin and just stuck with it because I figured like that was my instrument and I knew that there would be like a lot of great opportunities down the road. And I'm happy to say that the opportunities have come, like
Yeah.
making this podcast, for example. So,
It's especially like, I don't know, I thought this was normal and that everyone just loved this, but I love like learning new instruments. So like I can play a B flat scale, not well, but I can play it technically on the flute. I can play one on the clarinet, not well again. Like it's very barely there. But like, I don't know, just that interest to learn more. And it's not like eventually I'm just gonna be at the top of music and that's all the knowledge I can get. The more you know, the more there is to know.
yeah.
And so it's always just like you're always just growing.
Yeah, I've never really like taken time to learn more instruments, and part of that I feel like is like a strings background where it's like you really only need to stick to one instrument because there's not like jazz ensembles and brass ensembles and all sorts of other band related ensembles. I don't know the others. Somebody tell me what the others are later. But it's more along the lines of like that's what I know, but I feel like if I could take a page out of the band book and maybe learn some other instruments, it could help round me out in the long run.
Yeah.
Because like I do agree with what you're saying along the lines of like music is something that I've found is never really like there's never really a dull moment.
Mhm.
I always keep learning more. It's like, even when we just walk into rehearsals with Dr. John, like every Monday and Wednesday and Friday, I always learn a lot more than I knew going in,
Yeah.
and that's what just keeps me going.
You're never gonna like go in and be like, oh well, I know everything that we're about to like learn and do, like because that's just not how music is. You can always do something better if it's dynamics, if it's like how you're playing it and like the movement of it.
And really, it doesn't even take someone that's like musically talented to like show you that like, yeah, there's more to work on. Like, we have one of the best conductors around in Dr. John, and she's been a great help with like pointing out things here and there, especially like in my lessons where I can work. And it's even things that I'm starting to catch on with too.
Mhm.
And like I'm really grateful for that, because I feel like ever since I got up here, I'm really starting to advance as a musician.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like, I guess, do you take private lessons too up here?
Yeah, so all the music majors do, and I think you need an hour lesson if you're a music major, half hour if you're a music minor. I completely like get what you mean, because like I came in and I'm like, yeah, I know a good amount about the French horn, and then like I got to my lessons and we started doing stuff and I'm like, have I played this instrument before?
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy how much more there is to know if you just look for it.
See, my background's a little different, because like when I'd taken private lessons back home, but I'd gone through like a couple instructors. So like my first instructor, like I was taught all this stuff, but then I had to pretty much undo half of it because it was in COVID, and like some of my technique was just so bad.
That's a lot with
Yeah.
what happens to the French horn too. That's why I made the mashed potatoes joke,
Mm-hmm.
because
You made me hungry now. Congratulations.
yeah. But a lot of times, like, it's kind of like a running joke, as the French horn is just such a sensitive instrument. Like, just you can, so like if I have my horn and I'm holding it like this, I can go like that and it changes the pitch, which is just like a small little movement just completely throws it out. And
You want to show them?
I can.
See if you guys can follow along with this. This should be a fun little demonstration. See?
It's not like. Like, and especially with like your embouchure, like if I play like this, there's just so many things that could go wrong almost.
But yeah, now you guys know a little French horn and about the techniques and differences in sound and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do one more question.
Go for it.
If you could give someone one piece of musical advice, what would it be?
Musical advice. I don't even know.
It
Like-
could be anything like related to that, or anything that like you've encountered over your years, like in your career.
I would say don't let imposter syndrome get to you. Like there's that's a really hard thing. Like it's not like it's possible to just not let it get to you, but especially when you start and you're now in a music program and you're not let's face it, we all were first chair in our like band or orchestra.
Yeah.
We all were the top of the food chain there, and then like it's such a weird switch because you come into the music program and you're like the worst person there, and it's so hard to feel like you belong.
Mm-hmm.
And then like so many people are like, yeah, I'm dropping my major, I just can't do this. So I think just know that where you are right now, the people that are just so amazing to you had to be there at once. So give
Yeah.
yourself like a good amount of time and like go easy on yourself. Don't be too like yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because last year I came up here for the concerts just to see what Slippery Rock was about.
Mm-hmm.
And Pierce, you're gonna love this, but the first time I heard Pierce play, I was so just blown away, because it seemed like he was like so far above where I was currently, like in playing my violin.
Mm-hmm.
And like I went back for the second concert in the spring, and like it still just felt like he was so like way up here. But like now that I've gotten like accustomed to being in like this setting, like with the other members of the orchestra here at SRU, like I feel like I've learned a lot from Pierce, like just watching and getting to hear him play like more like up close, as opposed to sitting like 10-15 rows back from like the stage,
Mhm.
like at the concerts. So like I feel really happy saying that like I'm learning a lot from him, and I feel like I'm like on my way to like getting better and more like getting to that level that I felt like that I saw like in seeing Pierce play that first time.
That's the other thing. Learn from the people and not just from your professors. Like Lily, she's third chair horn in the orchestra. She's amazing, and like I can't even say how much I've learned from her. Just like playing well, and like not even directly saying like Megan, do this. Just learn from everyone.
Yeah, like to expand on that, at least on my side of things, like I think there's only 12 of us in our like regular orchestra setting, but like I'm also in the chamber orchestra, so like I'm learning a lot from like listening to Pierce, listening to Holden, and listening to like some of our other members that are both like either in the chamber orchestra or in the regular orchestra or in both.
Yeah.
And it's really like helping to like balance things out too.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, very interesting. So I know you mentioned that you have voice. Are there any other instruments besides like that and the mellophone and your voice that you have like under your wing?
The fun thing about brass is if you're good at one, you can be a good beginner at another. So like with mellophone, that like most people who learn French horn, or at least in my school, learn on mellophone and then go to French horn. And so if you know how to play the mellophone, you can play the trumpet. You're not going to be as good as a trumpet major, but like it's existent. And then so with that, if you can play that, or if you can play the mellophone, you can play the tenor horn, also called the alto horn, more in American culture. And then there's probably like a bunch of them that are just like the embouchures, similar-ish, not always similar, but the technique still stands.
Embouchure meaning what exactly?
So embouchure is like the way your mouth is. So that's why like if you ever watch a French horn player play, like they're not going to be playing like this. Like they'll probably they'll look a little stupid. They'll be like, you know. So yeah, and like with low brass, you're going to have a lot looser of an embouchure than you have with like a French horn or high brass. So it's not the same, but it's not as hard as going from like strings to brass, like, you know, because that's none of the same techniques.
Yeah, so what do you think it would take for you to pick up a strings instrument and maybe learn?
I know I can. And I know that it takes a lot of technique to even, and like, not, like it takes a lot of knowledge to play it. Like if you've heard like beginner violinists play, it's always like, it's like always horrible. So I know I would sound like that, but like, I don't know, there's the one part of me that just thinks I could just pick it up, do something.
Well,
I know I can.
We got some time, and we could pull off a little scientific experiment if you want
No. I'm so sorry in advance.
Let's just see.
This is gonna be. Am I holding this right?
Just hold it like you're a bunny rabbit eating a carrot, sort of.
I'm not a bunny rabbit.
Here. Like that. Pierce is holding up his fingers so that Megan can understand. You know what? I think that works. Holden, you got anything?
I got so much. Just one second.
Oh boy.
To the string. Get here.
Oh wait.
I'm gonna play for you.
All you gotta do is move your arm and
Wait,
How about
now
that?
I get to do it. This is gonna be horrible. I'm so sorry in advance.
just try your best.
Sure.
You know what? I think we've seen it.
So I'm switching majors.
Yeah, there we go. We have successfully converted one band member to the orchestra side of things. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not gonna do that again. I'm so sorry for your ears.
What qualities, at least to you, make up what would be a good musician in your eyes? And what of those qualities do you believe that you have?
So honestly, I've heard so much about this. This is why I wasn't going to go into music at first, and I was going to go to like biomed, which is a whole other story. Or biomedical engineering. And so like, it takes a lot of discipline because no one's telling you practice now. You're gonna practice for this song. You're gonna practice this for this song. You're gonna do this kind of warm up. Like it's all you. So like when I came into college, I didn't know what warm ups I should be doing. I didn't know how to work on high notes, how to work on low notes, and all that jazz. So like you have to almost figure it out for yourself. Use your resources. Use your peers.
Yeah.
Use YouTube. YouTube is a great resource.
Very true. But yeah, I was gonna say like saying all that, it kind of ties back to your earlier point about how like if you learn from the people around you, you tend to pick up a lot of good skills and things
Yes.
that you can incorporate into your own practice.
Yes.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so, okay, discipline, we've got discipline, you've got determination, because when, like, you're not a music major, right? You're
Nope.
a music minor?
I'm not
Nothing
anything.
music?
Not
Okay,
yet.
how many classes do you have?
I have, counting my music classes, I think I have 8, maybe. But taking those out of the equation, I think I have
Yeah,
5
but-
classes.
I think I have like 14 to 15.
Yeah.
The thing is, so, like, 1 hour class might be 3 credits for a non-music major, but we need so many classes, so it's going to be 1 credit. So you have to take a lot, and you need a lot for your degree. So it does really take a lot of determination to say, 2 of my friends have no classes today, but I have 47. Not actually 47, but like, it takes a lot to just keep going, which is why having music as a background and something that you really love is normally a good backbone for that.
Yeah, like even from my side of things, like music is something that like I want to keep in my background for a long time, but it's not something that really like I want to do as a job, because like even like some of like the previous guests that have been on here before have said like if it gets to being a job, then it's just gonna be more work, and it's you're gonna take the fun out of it.
See, that's where like it's interesting to hear how other people think of things, because I know I'm so excited for it to be a job. So like I can't wait to teach kids either like in a choir, a band, an orchestra, something like that. Like I can't wait to be that band director, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something I'm like genuinely excited for. So it's interesting to see like the different perspectives on music.
Yeah.
And, like,
And like even another part to that, at least for the reasons that I personally didn't want to go into music as my major, is the only real like group of musical instruments that I love being around is the violin and all the other strings ones. Like the band, like granted my brother was like super young when he played. Like I went to the elementary concerts and it sounded so bad. Ryan, I'm sorry, but it's true. My brother.
I figured.
So it's like I really didn't like the band stuff, at least when I was exposed to it when I was younger. And choir, I can't really sing, so I feel like me being a choir teacher is like so far out of the question, because I'm not a singer. Like my mother and my brother are both singers, and they're really good at it. Heck, even my dad's good at it, and normally he plays like his normal instruments, and he played like in a band and stuff too for a while. But like I've never really been the singer like in my family, which
Yeah.
is like something I feel like might be holding me back, but at the same time I feel like it's probably for the best.
I think that's okay. I mean, like I said, I took voice lessons, but my sister was the singer of the family. I was the instrumentalist. Like I think there's just, maybe it's a genetic thing, but it's just like some people are just like, you can just tell they're instrumentalists and the other people are singers, and it's just like fits and it's right.
So we had said discipline, determination.
Honestly, like it just, time management is a big one. I don't think there's any music major that would say like I'm amazing at time management, because
See,
yeah.
I'm not even a music major or minor, and I suck at time management. And I'm at least owning up to it now after 18 years of my mom telling me, you've really got to manage your time better.
Yeah, it's rough, especially because like today I practiced guitar for 2 hours. I'm not a guitar major.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting. It's not like the French horn.
Are you?
Shocking.
Would you say you're average, maybe?
At guitar?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm below average. I suck.
I think you're not giving yourself enough credit, because when you practice anything, you're only getting better.
That's true. Yeah, I'm better than I was when I started.
And that's the mentality that most musicians should have.
Mhm.
So do you have any other qualities that you think would make a good musician? We talked about Discipline,
Yeah,
determination.
discipline, determination,
Time
time management. There's the basic ones, like if you're tone deaf, it might be really hard for you because you do a lot with intonation. And then there's like overall confidence. It's really hard to be confident when you know that there's people that are better than you, and this ties back into the imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
But you have to be confident in yourself and like your sound, or else
Yeah.
you're not going to play in front of people, and that's hard.
See, that's something that I still struggle with to this day. Like, even the last couple lessons I've had with our conductor, Dr. John, like, she's, like, trying to help me work on it. And I will say, it's starting to get better, but it's still something that, like, I feel like I've really got to work at.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got determination, discipline, time management, confidence.
Oh, wow. Would you look at the time? This is for real. We have a new segment as our last segment on the show. So, you ever play a minute to win it type game?
Not really. I've heard of it though.
So, I have 20 orchestra-related questions, and you are going to have a minute to answer as many as you can, and we'll keep track and see if anyone can do better
Okay.
or who does less.
For me and for the audience, what's like the realm of these questions? Like, are they going to be like, who was the conductor of the first orchestra?
No.
Okay.
These are very basic questions, I can assure you.
If I get these wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get kicked out of the program.
No. Okay, are you ready?
No. Okay.
Tough. 3, 2, 1, go. What time signature is known as common time?
4/4.
Good. How many strings are generally on the violin, viola, cello, or bass?
4.
Dang, I knew I should have moved for that. Okay. What are the 4 main instrument groups in a symphony orchestra?
Strings, brass, percussion,
You're missing one.
woodwind.
Good. Okay. This is a bit of a trick question here.
Oh no.
What's the French horn made out of?
Brass?
Yes.
What?
True or false? A trumpet has 3 valves.
True.
Good. What is the pitch that we all tune to
E.
before we start a symphony orchestra rehearsal at SRU?
Concert E.
Nope.
Oh shoot, no, French horn E. Concert A.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
they transpose.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's not
Yeah.
your fault.
Yeah, I give it to her.
okay. We'll give her that one.
Thank you.
Name one of the 3 composers that we're playing a piece of music from at our concert on the 14th.
Berenstain.
Good. So you went 7 out of the 20 that we had listed. So you went 7 for 7. Well done.
Wah, wah.
What?
She answered all 7 right.
I got
though.
them right.
Out of the 20,
Well, that's just the.
We
You're
only
just
have-
trying to
timer's
see
fault.
how many you
That
can
was
get.
the
Yeah.
timer's fault. Yeah.
I would have gone to 20.
No, you wouldn't.
Dude, I don't think I could have read 20 questions fast enough for you to get to them. Yeah, very interesting.
Is it?
Ugh.
Oh.
Hey, hand me those paper towels, will
Yeah.
ya?
Here you go. Sorry. Sorry about this.
Much better. Huh. It's like the janitor was in here and read our mind.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. You want to read that?
This just in. News time.
Yeah. So, we're recording this right now before the concert, but we're unsure if this will be posted before or after the concert. So, either way, we have a concert on November 14th. It's called A Journey Through Art and Dance, and it's at 7:30 p.m. at Swope Recital Hall on our campus. You can get your tickets at sru.universitytickets.com. All you got to do is search up the site, click SRU Music Department, and then scroll until you find our concert, which is named A Journey Through Art and Dance. We will also have the social medias for the orchestra on screen right about...
Oh, hey, I see them. They're right there.
Yeah!
No, that you're not looking at them. No, that's still wrong. Whoa, that's crazy.
Whoa!
Okay, they're also going to be at the end.
Yes, and in the description. So yeah, that will be the end of this episode. Megan, thanks for stepping out from behind the camera
Yeah,
to be on for this one.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. For those of you watching, like, subscribe, comment if you've got any feedback, and also comment on any ideas for things that we need to spruce up the set a little bit. It's looking a little bare. So,
I think that looks good.
yeah, that does
I
look
think
good.
we've got to keep this one here. I like
I think
this
with for a French horn, the first thing to go.
I think we got that covered. Anyways, like, subscribe, stay tuned for the next episode, and stay musical, everyone.
Stay music cool.